Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about a topic that many shy away from failure. Yes, you heard me right, failure. It's a word that often carries a negative connotation, one that many of us fear and strive to avoid at all costs. But what if I told you that failure is not the end of the road, but rather the first step on the path to success? Think about it for a moment. Some of the most successful individuals in history have encountered failure time and time again before achieving greatness. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, famously said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways it won't work. Imagine if he had given up after the first, second, or even 100th attempt. We might still be living in darkness today. So, why is it that we fear failure so much? Is it the fear of embarrassment, of disappointment, of not living up to expectations? Whatever the reason may be, I'm here to tell you that failure is not something to be ashamed of. In fact, it's something to be embraced, celebrated even, because it means you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and taking risks in pursuit of your dreams. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of success. It's like taking a detour on a road trip. It may slow you down temporarily, but it can also lead you to unexpected and beautiful destinations. It's all about how you perceive and respond to failure that determines whether it becomes a stumbling block or a stepping stone. Instead of dwelling on your failures, use them as opportunities for growth and learning. Ask yourself what went wrong, what lessons you can take away from the experience, and how you can do better next time. Remember, every failure brings with it valuable insights and wisdom that you can use to propel yourself forward. Moreover, failure builds resilience. Just like a muscle that grows stronger with each workout, your resilience grows stronger with each setback you overcome. It teaches you to bounce back stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. As the saying goes, smooth seas do not make skillful sailors. It's the storms and rough waters that test our mettle and forge us into stronger, more capable individuals. So, my friends, I urge you to embrace failure with open arms. See it not as a setback, but as a setup for something greater. Use it as fuel to ignite your passion, drive, and determination. Remember, the only true failure is the failure. So go out there, take risks, make mistakes, and never let the fear of failure hold you back from pursuing your dreams. In the words of Winston Churchill, success is not final, failure is not fail. It is the courage to continue that counts. So have the courage to embrace failure, for it is the first step on the journey to success. My friends, let's delve deeper into the nature of failure. What exactly is it? Is it a dead end, a roadblock, or perhaps an opportunity in disguise? Failure, at its core, is simply a part of the journey to success. It's not a reflection of your worth or abilities, but rather a natural and inevitable aspect of growth and progress. Think of it as a teacher, albeit a tough one, who imparts valuable lessons that cannot be learned any other way. Failure comes in many forms of a missed opportunity, a rejected proposal, a setback in your plans. But no matter how it manifests, it's important to remember that failure is not the end of the road. It's merely a detour, a temporary setback that can be overcome with resilience and determination. One of the reasons we fear failure is because we often associate it with shame and embarrassment. We worry about what others will think of us, how we will be perceived if we fall short of our goals. But here's the truth: failure is not a reflection of your worth as a person. It's a natural part of the human experience, something that every successful individual has encountered on their journey to greatness. Moreover, failure is not something to be avoided at all costs. In fact, it's often a necessary step on the path to success. Just think about the most successful people you know. Chances are they've encountered their fair share of failures along the way. But what sets them apart is how they respond to failure. Instead of letting it defeat them, they use it as fuel to propel themselves forward. Failure is also a powerful catalyst for growth and learning. It forces us to reevaluate our strategies, to question our assumptions, and to seek new solutions to old problems. It pushes us out of our comfort zones and encourages us to explore new possibilities. In this way, failure can actually be a blessing in disguise, leading us to opportunities we may not have discovered otherwise. But perhaps most importantly, failure builds resilience. It toughens us up, teaches us to bounce back stronger than ever before. It's like a rite of passage, a test of our commitment and determination. And while it may be painful in the moment, it ultimately makes us more resilient, more adaptable, and more capable of facing life's challenges head on. So, my friends, I urge you not to fear failure, but to embrace it. See it not as a sign of weakness, but as a sign of courage and resilience. Use it as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become the best version of yourself. Remember, failure is not the end of the road. It's just the beginning of something new. Now that we've explored the nature of failure, let's dive into how we can extract valuable lessons and insights from our setbacks. Failure, as I mentioned earlier, is not just about falling short of our goals, it's also an opportunity for growth and learning. The first step in learning from failure is to adopt a mindset of curiosity and openness. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong or assigning blame, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? What insights can I gain that will help me in the future? By approaching failure with a curious mindset, you can uncover valuable lessons that will serve you well in your journey to success. One of the most important lessons we can learn from failure is resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to persevere in the face of adversity. It's a quality that's essential for success in any endeavor, and failure provides us with the perfect opportunity to develop it. When we counter failure, we have a choice. We can either fuel us or we can use it as fuel to propel us forward. By choosing resilience, we build the strength and determination to overcome any obstacle that stands in our way. Failure also teaches us humility. It reminds us that we are not infallible, that we're human and fallible beings. This humility is essential for growth and development as it allows us to acknowledge our weaknesses and shortcomings and work to improve them. It also fosters a sense of empathy and understanding towards others who may be struggling, creating stronger and more supportive relationships in the process. Moreover, failure can provide us with valuable feedback on our strategies and approaches. When something doesn't go according to plan, it's a sign that we need to reassess our methods and make adjustments as necessary. This feedback loop is essential for progress and innovation as it allows us to continually refine and improve our strategies over time. In addition to resilience, humility, and feedback, failure also teaches us the importance of perseverance. Success rarely comes overnight. It requires dedication, persistence, and a willingness to keep going even when the going gets tough. Failure tests our commitment and determination, separating those who are truly dedicated to their goals from those who are not. By persevering in the face of failure, we prove to ourselves and to the world that we are willing to do whatever it takes to achieve our dreams. Finally, failure teaches us the value of adaptability. In today's fast paced world, the ability to adapt to changing circumstances is more important than ever. Failure forces us to think on our feet, to come up with creative solutions to unexpected problems. It challenges us to step outside of our comfort zones and embrace new ways of thinking and doing. In this way, failure can actually be a catalyst for innovation and growth, leading us to new opportunities and experiences we may not have discovered otherwise. So, my friends, let us embrace failure not as a sign of defeat, but as a stepping stone on the path to success. Let us approach it with curiosity, humility, and resilience, knowing that it holds valuable lessons and insights that will serve us well in our journey ahead. One of the biggest obstacles we face in embracing failure is the fear that accompanies it. The fear of failure can be paralyzing, preventing us from taking risks and pursuing our dreams. But here's the truth: failure is not something to be feared, it's something to be embraced. It's an inevitable part of the journey to success, and the sooner we learn to overcome our fear of it, the sooner we can unlock our full potential. So, how do we overcome the fear of failure and cultivate resilience in its place? It all starts with changing our mindset. Instead of viewing failure as something to be avoided at all costs, we need to see it as an opportunity for growth and learning. We need to shift our perspective and recognize that failure is not the end of the road, and it's just a detour on the path to success. One way to cultivate resilience in the face of failure is to focus on the things that we can control. While we may not always be able to control the outcome of a situation, we can control how we respond to it. We can choose to see failure as a chance to learn and grow, rather than as a reflection of our worth or abilities. By shifting our focus away from what went wrong and towards what we can do differently next time, we can bounce back stronger than ever. Another important aspect of overcoming the fear of failure is to practice self compassion. It's easy to be hard on ourselves when things don't go according to plan, but beating ourselves up over our mistakes only makes it harder to bounce back. Instead, we need to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, acknowledging that failure is a natural part of the learning process. By practicing self compassion, we can build resilience and bounce back from failure more quickly and effectively. Moreover, surrounding ourselves with a supportive network can also help us overcome the fear of failure and cultivate resilience. Having people in our corner who believe in us and encourage us can make all the difference when we're facing setbacks. They can provide us with valuable perspective and support, helping us to see failure as a temporary setback rather than a permanent defeat. Additionally, setting realistic expectations can help us overcome the fear of failure and cultivate resilience. It's important to recognize that success rarely happens overnight. It's a journey that's filled with ups and downs. By setting realistic goals and milestones, we can set ourselves up for success and avoid feeling overwhelmed when things don't go according to plan. Finally, it's important to remember that failure is not a reflection of our worth or abilities. Just because we fail at something doesn't mean we are failures. It simply means that we tried something and it didn't work out, and that's okay. Failure is not the end of the road, it's just a stepping stone on the path to success. As long as we keep moving forward and learning from our mistakes, we will eventually reach our goals. So, my friends, let us embrace failure as the first step on the journey to success. Let us cultivate resilience in the face of setbacks, knowing that failure is not something to be feared, it's something to be embraced. By changing our mindset, practicing self compassion, surrounding ourselves with support, setting realistic expectations, and remembering that failure does not define us, we can overcome the fear of failure and achieve our wildest dreams. One of the most powerful tools we have in overcoming the fear of failure and cultivating resilience is developing a growth mindset. A growth mindset is all about viewing failure as feedback, as an opportunity to learn and grow rather than as a reflection of our abilities. When we have a growth mindset, we see failure not as a sign that we're not good enough, but as a natural part of the learning process. We understand that every setback is an opportunity to gather valuable information and insights that can help us improve and grow. Instead of getting discouraged when things don't go according to plan, we use failure as fuel to drive us forward. But how do we develop a growth mindset and start viewing failure as feedback? It starts with changing the way we think about failure. Instead of seeing failure as something to be avoided at all costs, we need to see it as a necessary part of the journey to success. We need to recognize that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone on the path to success. One way to develop a growth mindset is to reframe how we think about failure. Instead of seeing failure as a personal shortcoming, we can see it as a sign that we're pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zones and taking risks. We can remind ourselves that every successful person has experienced failure at some point in their journey, and that failure is not a reflection of our worth or abilities. Moreover, we can develop a growth mindset by seeking out opportunities to learn, grow from our failures. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, we can ask ourselves what we can learn from the experience and how we can use that knowledge to improve in the future. We can seek feedback from others and use it to identify areas where we can grow and develop. Furthermore, we can cultivate a growth mindset by embracing challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth. Instead of avoiding difficult tasks or situations for fear of failure, we can lean into them and see them as opportunities to stretch ourselves and develop new skills. We can remind ourselves that the greatest growth often comes from the greatest challenges, and that by pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zones, we can become stronger and more resilient. Additionally, we can develop a growth mindset by fostering a love of learning and curiosity. Instead of seeing failure as the end of the road, we can see it as a sign that there's more to learn and explore. We can approach every challenge with a sense of curiosity and a willingness to learn from our mistakes, knowing that each failure brings us one step closer to success. In conclusion, developing a growth mindset is essential for overcoming the fear of failure and cultivating resilience. By viewing failure as feedback and embracing it as an opportunity to learn and grow, we can become more resilient in the face of setbacks. So let us embrace failure as a natural part of the journey to success. And let us develop a growth mindset that allows us to thrive in the face of adversity. Today, I want to talk to you about a powerful mindset shift that can transform the way we view failure, adopting an opportunistic mindset. Instead of seeing failure as a roadblock or setback, we can choose to see it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and ultimately to succeed. So, what does it mean to adopt an opportunistic mindset in the face of failure? It means shifting our perspective from one of defeat to one of opportunity. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong or what we've lost, we focus on what we can gain from the experience. We can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger as a result? What new opportunities might this failure open up for me? When we adopt an opportunistic mindset, failure becomes not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. It becomes a chance for us to step out of our comfort zones, to challenge ourselves, and to discover new possibilities. It becomes a catalyst for growth and innovation, propelling us forward on our journey to success. But how do we cultivate an opportunistic mindset in the face of failure? It starts with reframing our thoughts and beliefs about failure. Instead of seeing failure as a sign of personal inadequacy or incompetence, we see it as a natural part of the learning process. We understand that every successful person has experienced failure along the way, and that failure is not a reflection of our worth or abilities. Or we can cultivate an opportunistic mindset by focusing on solutions rather than problems. Instead of dwelling on the failure itself, we channel our energy into finding ways to overcome it. We look for opportunities to turn the situation around, to leverage our strengths and resources, and to find creative solutions to the challenges we face. Additionally, we can cultivate an opportunistic mindset by surrounding ourselves with positive influences and role models. We seek out people who have overcome failure and achieved success, and we learn from their experiences. We draw inspiration from their stories of resilience and determination, and we use them to fuel our own journey forward. Furthermore, we can cultivate an opportunistic mindset by embracing change and uncertainty. Instead of resisting change or clinging to the status quo, we welcome it as an opportunity for growth and evolution. We understand that failure often comes hand in hand with change, and that by embracing change, we can position ourselves to seize new opportunities and achieve even greater success. In conclusion, adopting an opportunistic mindset is a powerful way to turn failure into opportunity. By reframing our thoughts about failure, focusing on solutions, surrounding ourselves with positive influences, and embracing change, we can transform the way we view failure and unlock new possibilities for growth and success. Today, I want to share with you the power of persistence and how it enables us to persevere through failure. Persistence is a key ingredient that separates those who achieve their goals from those who fall short. It's what keeps us moving forward, even in the face of adversity, setbacks, and failure. When we talk about persistence, we're talking about the ability to keep going no matter what. It's about having the determination and resilience to push through challenges and setbacks, to keep working towards our goals, even when it feels like the odds are stacked against us. So, why is persistence so important, especially when it comes to dealing with failure? Well, simply put, failure is inevitable. It's a natural part of the journey to success. But what separates the winners from the losers is how they respond to failure. Winners don't let failure stop them. Instead, they use it as fuel to propel them forward. They understand that failure is not the end of the road, but merely a detour on the path to success. Persistence is what enables us to keep going when things get tough. It's what allows us to pick ourselves up after we've been knocked down and keep moving forward. Without persistence, failure can easily derail us, causing us to lose sight of our goals and giving up on our dreams. But when we have persistence, failure becomes just another obstacle to overcome. It becomes a stepping stone on the path to success. Every failure teaches us something new, whether it's about ourselves, our goals, or the world around us. And with each failure, we become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. For moreover, persistence is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It's what enables us to achieve things that others can only dream of. The most successful people in the world aren't necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They're the ones who never gave up. They're the ones who kept pushing forward, no matter what obstacles they faced. So, how do we cultivate persistence in the face of failure? It starts with having a clear vision of what we want to achieve. When we have a compelling vision, it gives us the motivation and drive to keep going, even when things get tough. Additionally, we can cultivate persistence by developing a strong sense of self belief. When we believe in ourselves and our abilities, we're more likely to persevere through challenges and setbacks. We understand that failure is not a reflection of our worth or abilities, but merely a temporary setback on the path to success. Furthermore, we can cultivate persistence by surrounding ourselves with positive influences and supportive people. When we have a strong support system, it gives us the encouragement and motivation we need to keep going even when things seem hopeless. In conclusion, persistence is the key to persevering through failure and achieving success. It's what enables us to keep going when things get tough, to learn from our failures, and to ultimately achieve our goals. So let's embrace the power of persistence and keep pushing forward, no matter what challenges we face. Oh, dear, I want to talk to you about a topic that many of us fear and avoid: failure. But what if I told you that failure isn't something to be feared, but rather embraced as a catalyst for growth and innovation? What if I told you that failure is not the opposite of success, but rather a stepping stone on the path to success? You see, failure is inevitable. It's a natural part of the journey to success. Every successful person has experienced failure at some point in their lives, but what sets them apart is how they respond to failure. Instead of letting failure defeat them, they use it as a learning opportunity. They understand that failure is not the end of the road, but rather a detour on the path to success. When we embrace failure as a catalyst for growth and innovation, it changes our perspective. Instead of seeing failure as something to be ashamed of or avoid at all costs, we see it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and improve. Think about it, some of the greatest innovations and breakthroughs in history, many of them were the result of failure. Thomas Edison famously said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Edison understood that failure was an essential part of the creative process. Each failure brought him one step closer to success. Similarly, Steve Jobs, the co founder of Apple, was fired from his own company at one point in his career. But instead of giving up, he used that failure as motivation to start again. He went on to create some of the most innovative products of our time, revolutionizing the way we live, work, and communicate. The truth is, failure is often the catalyst for some of our greatest achievements. It's what pushes us out of our comfort zones and forces us to think differently. When we fail, we're forced to reassess our approach, to try new things, and to innovate. Moreover, failure builds resilience. When we experience failure and overcome it, we become stronger and more resilient. We learn that we can handle adversity and come out on the other side stronger than before. This resilience is invaluable not only in achieving our goals, but also in navigating the ups and downs of life. So, how can we embrace failure as a catalyst for growth and innovation? It starts with changing our mindset. Instead of seeing failure as something to be avoided, we need to see it as an opportunity for growth. We need to shift our focus from avoiding failure to embracing it, from fearing failure to learning from it. Additionally, we can embrace failure by reframing our perceptions. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of our abilities or worth, we need to see it as a temporary setback on the path to success. We need to understand that failure is not the end of the road, but rather a stepping stone on the journey. Furthermore, we can embrace failure by seeking feedback and learning from our mistakes. Instead of dwelling on our failures, we need to analyze them objectively, identify what went wrong, and use that information to improve. In conclusion, failure is not something to be feared, but rather embraced as a catalyst for growth and innovation. It's what pushes us out of our comfort zones, forces us to think differently, and ultimately leads to our greatest achievements. So let's embrace failure, learn from it, and use it as fuel to propel us forward on the path to success. In closing, I want to leave you with this thought set: failure is not the end of the road, but rather a detour on the journey to success. It's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, the successful from the unsuccessful. Embracing failure is not about celebrating defeat, but rather recognizing it as an essential part of the path to success. As you go forth from here, I urge you to embrace failure with open arms. See it not as a setback, but as an opportunity for growth and innovation. Understand that failure is not a reflection of your abilities or worth, but rather a stepping stone on the road to success. Remember the words of Thomas Edison, who said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways it won't work. Each failure brings us one step closer to success, one lesson closer to our goals. So the next time you face failure, don't let it discourage you. Instead, use it as motivation to keep pushing forward, learn from your mistakes, adapt your approach, and keep striving for greatness. Embrace failure, for it is the first step on the path to success. Thank you.